It's another winter, and with that comes another Fortnite Winterfest. Throughout the years that Fortnite has been around, each year Epic has brought the winter and Christmas vibes to the game, whether that's through decorations, weapons, or cosmetics. Some years have been great, and some, well, not so much. So I thought in today's video, it'd be the perfect time to take a trip down memory lane and go through the entire evolution of Fortnite Winterfest, starting all the way back in Chapter 1, Season 2, up until today. Before we get started though, I really appreciate you clicking on this video, and if you go on to enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel down below. But with that being said, grab your hot chocolate, sit down, and enjoy the good times of winter. December 14th, 2017, Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 2 would be released. Wow, it's crazy to think that this was 7 years ago now, and when you launched the game, you were greeted with an amazing lobby screen. Like, can we just appreciate how well this lobby captured the winter vibe? The wintry atmosphere with the Christmas tree and the branch lights around the player platforms made it so perfect. This was also way before Winterfest was even a thing, and so it wasn't even titled Winterfest. Instead, it was called Survive the Holidays. And if you didn't know, this is actually how Season 2 launched, with an entire winter makeover added to the game. When players loaded into a match, they would notice that the battle bus wasn't its typical blue color. Instead, the battle bus was painted in red and green stripes. However, when looking above, a huge Santa hot air balloon kept the bus afloat. And what's even crazier is the bus even had its own unique music, which is just so nostalgic to hear nowadays. When players jumped out of the battle bus and headed down towards the map, at many of the named POIs, there would be tall Christmas trees that had a couple chests to loot underneath them. However, this wouldn't be the only map change, because instead of our typical green bush, all the bushes now had Christmas lights on them for the holiday. And seeing these additions really added to that Christmas vibe that was so special. Within matches, players could also loot to find the brand new snowball launcher, and it did exactly what its name says. It worked just like the grenade launcher, but instead of grenades, snowballs were shot out of the launcher. Now let's take things back to the lobby, and throughout the weeks of the winter update, there were a couple of Christmas skins that we got to go along with the holiday. And let me just say, all of these skins are so iconic now. We got Merry Marauder and Ginger Gunner, Nogops and Yuletide Ranger, and then Red Nose Raider, Codename Elf, and Crackshot to round out the first ever batch of winter/Christmas skins we would get in Fortnite. And still to this day, every year when those cozy times come around, I pull these skins out of the vault and wear them. They're simple, creative, and just classics within Fortnite. That would round out the first ever Fortnite winter update, and with that being the first time, they did an amazing job at capturing the winter feel. To save time moving forward, I will not be including some of the winter items, aesthetics, and cosmetics that come to the game almost every year, like the snowball launcher and Christmas light bushes, which are some of the annual returns we know so far in this video. Chapter 1 Season 7. Man, were these some great times. Before we even get into the winter update, the entire season was already centered around winter. With the launch of Season 7, we got an entire winter biome for the first time ever, and it included a lot of great POIs like Happy Hamlet, Frosty Flights, and Polar Peak. Even Greasy was completely frozen over, giving us a new ice mechanic, which we'll eventually get back to again later in this video. But now, let's get into the actual winter update for 2018. On December 18th, 2018, 14 days of Fortnite would drop, giving us loads of content. If you were a big LTM guy like me, this was cinema. Every single day, we got a new small team LTM, and they were either new or an old returning one. Same thing goes for large team LTMs. However, these would rotate every 2 days instead of 1. So just off that, you had 2 LTMs to play every single day, creating for a ton of content each day throughout 14 days of Fortnite. One of the most remembered things about 14 days of Fortnite was the challenges and rewards. Just like the LTMs, every day there would be a new reward to unlock by completing the challenges, and some of the most notable rewards were the Equalizer Glider, Merry Munchkin Pet, and the Take the Elf emote. In the game, we got a brand new item, Presents. These things are always so good to find, and most of the time provide some valuable weapons and heals feels. When we all thought that was it, out of nowhere on Christmas Day in 2018, Fortnite would cover the entire map in snow, and I just remember being so happy seeing that. Like, dude, it really hits different when a game can portray what's actually happening in real life. Even if it didn't snow on Christmas Day in real life for you, seeing the Fortnite map covered in snow made our perfect day come to life. For the holiday, Fortnite would release the Frozen Legends pack, which included frozen versions of Raven, Red Knight, and Love Ranger. We also got a good amount of winter item shop skins that included Slushy Soldier, Red-Nosed Ranger, Crackabella, Tinseltoes, Grimbles, Glimmer, and Sugar Plum. So this was an absolute stacker of a winter update and might just be one of the best, if not the best winter update in Fortnite history. Now it's time for the most generational shift in the Fortnite Winter Update universe. In Chapter 2, Season 1, on December 18th, 2019, the first official Fortnite Winterfest would drop, and it was amazing. We got some brand new rewards again, but this time claiming them was much different because we now had the Winterfest cabin added as a tab in-game, also known as Crackshot's cabin, that would make a return to the map many times in the future. And when you entered the tab, you would head to the cabin where you could open up daily presents, and there were 14 of them. So throughout a 2-week span, you'd be able to log on daily and claim your presents. Inside of these presents were cosmetics, and some of the most notable ones were Lieutenant Evergreen and Woolly Warrior, as they were 2 free skins you could acquire from just logging on and opening presents. On top of the cabin rewards, we also had Winterfest rewards that you could obtain by completing the Winterfest challenges. And just like the year prior, LTMs came back daily, and we saw some bangers return like Wix Bounty and Arsenal, which are personally some of my favorite LTMs. Along with the returning LTMs, we also got an unvault every single day, and some of the weapons that were added back for 24 hours were the drum gun, heavy sniper, and hand cannon. And guess what? We got the map fully covered in snow again, which was so nice to see. We also saw a returning item from the previous year that I purposefully did not touch on because it was added way after 14 days of Fortnite, and that was Sneaky Snowman. These things are absolutely hilarious, like just running around and even hiding as a giant snowman is so crazy. An item that many of us probably either forgot about or have no idea was actually in the game was a lump of coal. This was obviously added for the jokes during this year's winter update, and from what I remember, they were pretty hard to find as they were only obtainable from presents. They worked just like the rusty cans, so you could throw it and it would do a very tiny amount of damage. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice addition to the game that contributed to the Christmas vibes. In terms of winter cosmetics this year, we got the Polar Legends pack that included Frozen Nogops, Frozen Fish Stick, and the Devourer. For item shop skins, there were a ton. To save time, I'm only going to name a couple. So we had Yuletide Trooper, Frosted Flurry, Kane, Dolph, and Jolly Jammer. I'm not gonna lie, Chapter 2 Season 1 was on par with Season 7's winter update, if not even better, because it was just all around stacked. However, things would come back down to earth, and in Chapter 2, Season 5, Operation Snowdown would begin on December 18th, 2020. And immediately, we noticed that the Winterfest cabin did not return. It was really interesting to see Epic quickly drop Winterfest for another name, but don't worry, Winterfest will be back. We just have to get through this. In the winter update, the snowball launcher would return, but this time it was different. It wasn't your normal rarity. Instead, it was an exotic called the Big Chill that shot out chiller grenades, which gave you ice on your feet, and this launcher also gave you low gravity. So it was a great item for mobility. The only way you could actually obtain it was by buying it from Snowmando for 400 gold bars or finding it in a present, so it wasn't quite easy to get your hands on it. We also got a new consumable, that being the Snowy Flopper, and this thing granted you 40 white health as well as icy feet. So if you don't like icy feet, this was probably super triggering for you. The planes were unvaulted for the winter event, and I remember this. I was actually pretty hyped for their return. In terms of snow this year, it was super underwhelming as it literally just extended the snow we already had on the map, but hey, at least it was something. Like usual, there were rewards you could get for completing challenges. The most notable rewards from the Operation Snowdown quests were the 2 free skins, Frost Squad and Snowmando. We saw yet another winter pack make its way to the game, and this was the Frost Legends pack that included Snowheart, Snowdrift, and Frost Broker. In terms of the item shop, some of the skins we saw were Cozy Jonesy, Mr. Dappermint, Blinky, and Snowbell. So look, even though we didn't have the cabin, we still got some nice free rewards along with a good handful of unvaults that made it pretty enjoyable. And with how some of the more recent Winterfest have been, this one stacks up pretty well. After a short absence, the term Winterfest returned in Chapter 3 Season 1, and on December 16th, 2021, the winter update would drop along with the return of the Winterfest cabin. Inside the cabin, the usual 14 daily presents were there, and just like previous years, there were 2 free skins, Chrisabel and Polar Peely. With the launch of the brand new chapter, the map was already covered in a large amount of snow, which was great to see. And in-game, we saw Sergeant Winter traveling around on his truck handing out presents, which was such a cool little addition to the quality of life. Not only did Sergeant Winter hand out presents, but he also gave us new Winterfest quest challenges to complete every day for 14 days, with even more free rewards to obtain. We saw our annual winter unvaults make a return, and this time we got chiller grenades added back and a now annual consumable / candy, that being peppermint, added to the game, which gives you 5 health and a temporary pepper effect, so it worked just like the normal pepper does. In terms of cosmetics, there were even more free skins, as PC players who logged into Fortnite during Winterfest would get the Blizzabelle skin by redeeming it from the item shop. And you already saw it coming. It's not a Fortnite Winterfest without a Frozen series pack. This year we got the Black Ice Legends pack that included Icebound Midas, Ice Crystal, and Permafrost Raider. And if I had to pick a favorite Frozen series pack, I'd have to go with this one. We of course got more skins in the item shop, and this included Cozy Knit Jonesy, Frigid Foregoer, and Nalia. Overall, Chapter 3 Season 1 was a really good Winterfest, and you can't really complain here, except for the lack of LTMs. But if you couldn't tell already, the lack of LTMs has been common for a few seasons now, and it's going to continue. Now we're heading into Chapter 4 Season 1, and it's another year with another brand new chapter where the Winterfest festivities continue. On December 13th, 2022, Winterfest would release, bringing along the cabin and free rewards. It worked just like normal, and this year the 2 free skins we got from the cabin were Arctic Adeline and Sled Ready Guff. The Winterfest challenges we would receive this year wouldn't give us any extra free rewards, however they were really beneficial when it came to getting XP and leveling up fast. Unvaults stayed the same this year, with all of our annual winter items returning. And as it goes for skins, it was literally the 2 free skins in the cabin and Winter Wonder Sky in the item shop. Like, that was it for skins this Winterfest. So that was a really big bummer in my opinion. This has to be the worst Winterfest we've seen so far in this video, but what's coming next is even worse. Now, Chapter 5 Season 1 is hands down the worst Winterfest we've ever gotten. On December 14th, 2023, Winterfest would be released, but one of the main elements of Winterfest was missing, and that was the cabin. Why Epic stopped the cabin? I don't know. I really think they were just relaxing or something over there during Chapter 5. But in compensation for the loss of the cabin, we still got our Winterfest quests and still sorta opened a present to claim our rewards. But it was just like a really cheap version of doing it. We got 2 free skins like always, and this time it was Holiday Boxy and Winterfest Bushranger. We actually got a new unvault for this year's Winterfest, and it was the Icy Grappler. It's definitely a little tough to control yourself with the ice, but it's still solid. And for skins, the 2 free ones were the only winter skins for this Winterfest. Like, wow, this was lackluster. Chapter 5 Season 1 is easily bottom of the barrel for Fortnite winter updates. You literally cannot get much worse than this. Fortunately, in Chapter 6, Season 1, Fortnite has rebounded and provided us with one of the greatest Winterfests we've ever seen. There is so much content to unpack here, and it blows Chapter 5 out of the water. First, let's start with the cabin returning after a 1-year absence, and it's just like it was. You can claim Snoop Dogg and Yule Jacket completely for free once you open their presents, and you can find a ton more cosmetics in the remaining presents. Along with Santa Dog, we have Santa Suit Mariah and Santa Shack, and I love this, man. I've always loved seeing artists and celebrities make their way into the Fortnite universe. I think it's really cool to see, and for them to have Christmas skins is just crazy to see. After snow was on almost everyone's wish list for Winterfest this year, we got it, and it's actually quite a bit of snow. I like how it runs through the middle of the map, and I'm glad they added it after the chapter launched because it added some hype, since in the past, like Chapter 3 and Chapter 5, they would drop the chapter with snow on the map to begin with, which didn't create any surprise for it to potentially be added for Winterfest. Next, in-game, we got the new ice skates item that aren't like actual ice skates, but are the normal Fortnite ice blocks on your feet, and what's unique about these are that you can actually control them. So you can activate the ice or deactivate it, so it's all around way more useful than, let's say, chiller grenades, because most of the time you don't want to be sliding around everywhere, especially in a fight. So this makes ice much more valuable. We also have a new grenade called the Blizzard Grenade, and it does exactly what it says. It creates this blizzard that does damage, and it kind of freezes you too. It's essentially a better chiller grenade. Alongside our annual unvaults, this year we got the return of chili chug splashes and regular chug splashes. Now personally, in my opinion, these have no direct correlation with Winterfest, but they were added alongside the update, so I guess you can throw them in there as a Winterfest unvault. We got even more skins on top of the ones I've already talked about, and they are Snowy Ops, Guffmas Tree, and Flaky the Snowbird. We obviously got way more skins than those, but to limit it, I picked these because I saw them as the most winter appealing skins. Now finally, for the big talk of this year's Winterfest, it's Mariah Carey and her iceberg. When the update dropped, a huge iceberg appeared on the map that Mariah Carey was inside of. As time went on, it melted and melted, becoming smaller and smaller day by day, until Friday, December 20th at 3 p.m. EST, when Mariah Carey did her classic "It's Time" and bursted out of the ice singing her Christmas hit, "All I Want for Christmas Is You." It was a great little mini event in my opinion. It really brought out those winter and Christmas vibes that we've been missing from Fortnite the past couple of years. So yeah, where we are today in the Winterfest timeline is great. Epic has been on an absolute roll lately with all of the content they've been putting out recently, and I'm sure we can all appreciate what we're experiencing more than 7 years into Fortnite existing. Be sure to share in the comments below your favorite Winterfest or winter update Fortnite has done up until this point, and throw in your thoughts on this year's Winterfest so far. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and with that, if you enjoyed sitting down and experiencing the cozy vibes in today's video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all, and happy holidays.